the win last week. Probably deserved on balance, would you say, Georgia? Emily Condon scoring the penalty, which hopefully they've done up the nets here at Dorrien Gardens tonight, because I couldn't tell when it went in last week at Martin.
Yeah, last week was a tight game, but Adelaide probably had better of the possession, better of the build-up. But it easily could have gone either way, and I think today is going to be a really good tussle between both teams.
Charlotte Grant here, right back on a non-preferred left foot, setting Mariska Waldis a task. Waldis out of quarantine for a week before her first game against Perth Glory for Adelaide United, former Wanderer. Experience at the back from the Dutch woman really required in a season like this in the W League, where there is a vast discrepancy between the youngest player and the oldest player.
Yeah, Waldis is one of those players who just communicates the whole game, so she'll spend the whole time organising this Adelaide team and making sure that the young players know what they're doing.
They go down right here. Here's Mallory Webber, who was a danger in that second half last week, laying it back, but looking for an advancing midfielder that wasn't there, unfortunately. They're already in the box, and Perth Glory can come away. Caitlin Douglas, who struggled at times to get into the contest through no fault of her own last week. It just was one of those games for Caitlin. Webber and Condon, and that's a neat play. Dylan Holmes just shifting it out to the left. Isabel Hodgson, the left back for Adelaide United. Here's McNamara. It will hold up. Look at that. And Grant can get a cross in, which is a little dangerous, headed away. That ball that was like a golf shot with a nice bit of spin on it, just really held up on the turf.
Yeah, and that field is holding up. There's no bounce on it, so players are going to have to get used to that. Goalkeeper's going to have to be looking out for it because it does really change the way that you're playing.
Important little neat touch from Hannah Lowry at the start of this for Perth. She sent it back inside midfield. She's a number 8. She's, yeah, well, physically she's still yet to fully develop in terms of strength. And you look at her and turn side on, she might she might disappear, but she's there's not much to her, but there's a football brain there, and she'll be good to watch. So really well balanced.
Yeah, I'm really just excited to see how she develops as a player, especially in this league this year.
Condon finding Rojas. Trips herself up almost, but Condon continued the run to get into a dangerous area. Does well to maintain her composure and whip in a dangerous looking cross with the left foot, but is the captain, Natasha Rigby, right back for Perth Glory, able to just advance it herself. Crane. That will be the task for those at the back for Adelaide United, to stop everything that goes into Crane's feet. Oh, that's a lovely ball for Mallory Webber, and running onto it is Fiona Warts, and that is the opening goal for Adelaide United. They like to play through midfield, and they've done it again. That's a beautiful ball from the American Webber. And another of the imports, the Englishwoman, Fiona Warts, opens the scoring at Dorrien Gardens.
What a great start there for Adelaide. We just look at this little build-up. They open up Perth's defence, and this beautiful ball slipped in behind. Perfect weight on it, and then a very classy finish at the end.
Well taken goal from Warts, who has been on the Adelaide scene for a couple of seasons in the NPL, and last season playing for Fulham scored 11 in 14 games, and with a finish like that you can see why she had a goal scoring rate like that. That was superbly taken to get it onto the left and not break stride. So Perth at home with a job to do. Sorry, Georgia.
No, that's all right. Just so well composed. You know, early minutes in a game, it's easy to let the occasion get to you, but she's taken her time and she just slotted that so nicely.
Dylan Holmes trying to provide a bit of drive through midfield, and Larry does well there to just keep hold of possession. Back to Steinmetz, the Kiwi. Perth will start again. Sarah Carroll. It's well handled by Gemma Crane on that occasion. It was had a bit on it, that ball from Carroll. Yeah, there's young Hannah Lowry, 17, out of the NTC program in WA, which man, woman and child has produced so many good players over the years.
And she's another one to watch definitely going forward.
Tabane. They want to play the style that they want to. Mariana Tabane is the type of player that they want heavily involved. Did it go in? It did. Rigby centres, and Douglas gets enough of a head on it, and Lowry with those smarts out to D.A. Della Harp, the left back, the Sydney sider. To Morgan, another player over from Sydney for Perth Glory. Oh, neat move. Right around McNamara, heavy touch, the second one, but wins her side of corner. It's alert defending from Charlie Grant.
Great play there from Perth, just seeing that they had to get the switch. All of Adelaide's numbers were over on that right-hand side and open up to find Della Harp on the left wing. They're going to have to look to get that switch a lot during this game.
Did well, in fact. It's a throw-in, not a corner. Deflected cross and bang straight to Rojas, who finds herself in space, just the right place at the right time. She could have opened up and gone forward there, Morgan. Everyone was just yelling out, switch, switch. Had plenty of time. Anyway, they can get out down this right side. That triangle created with the right back. And now one for Crane to chase, which she doesn't mind. See what she can muster here up against Walders. It's good defending from the Dutchwoman. McNamara doesn't want to be too cute. The goal scorer will just clear it away. Better from Perth.
Yeah, it is. They're looking to combine through the midfield, get the switch of play. And it looks like they're kind of more on the same page this week than they were last week.
Adelaide a great record in this fixture. It's now up to 5 undefeated after Perth dominated the first 15. With a Harp and Douglas, neat little turn, tries it again and gets away from McNamara, and a dangerous cross to the top of the box. Tabane couldn't quite link up with Crane, who was just a bit late on that dangerous run. Patient from the home side.
Yeah, in these opening minutes, it looks like the players are trying to get the ball to do the work. They don't want to be running too much in this heat. So they're just trying to work it around and open up the back line before they start to run at them, because you know that you don't want to be wasting any energy in this heat.
It's too hot for the beach, this type of weather. Oh, this is good from Adelaide again. So Rojas one-on-one with Sarah Carroll, needing all her experience right here. Rojas opening up a shot, perhaps, but across to help out was Liz Anton. Really reluctant to dive in. And fair enough too on Rojas.
That's great defending there from Perth. Just double teaming. They know that Rojas has got the skill to beat players one-on-one, so Anton just coming across, making sure she provides that cover.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, you've got to know your limitations as a defender in a situation like that, and if Rojas is doing the dance in front of you, there's no point in trying to get involved in that particular dance. Just stand back and watch and make sure she doesn't pass you.
Yeah, absolutely not. You don't want to be diving in at players like Rojas.
Here is Rojas, feigns the cross. Chance to lay it back there to Webber, who's just waiting on tippy toes. Didn't come back, and now Perth can break, and Crane, she can motor. That's probably a yellow card if she went to ground. No, she wants to hone in on goal. Look at her go. Gemma Crane with a shot. That's gone well wide, but that's the danger she poses.
Yeah, that's a great run there from Crane. Sees the space, is happy to take it, take players on. Unfortunately, none of the Glory players able to keep up with her.
I reckon some of her ex-teammates at Fremantle City are in the grandstand here at Dorrien Gardens watching that. You heard them. As soon as the ball went to her feet, they knew what was going to happen because they've seen it time and time again. She was the Football West Player of the Year in 2019. And I dare say that on many an occasion she burned a defender doing that offside from that throw-in opportunity for Perth. And hopefully we get to see a little bit more of that. And that man right there, who I'm not sure about Adrian Stenter's choice of long pants on the bench. It's shorts weather, surely.
Yeah,
Maybe he didn't pack them.
You wouldn't be doing it by choice, would you?
No, no. Part of the new rules as well. You would have noticed that Gemma Crane took off and Georgia Campagnoli tried to, or it might have been actually Dylan Holmes, or someone with a 6 on their back, tried to hang on to the back of Gemma Crane. Didn't work. Here's an opportunity now for Mallory Webber, who just trips herself up and couldn't bring it under control, and dangerous opportunity averted there at the back for Perth. But yeah, it's not a yellow card anymore, because if the play goes on, the referee then can't retrospectively give a yellow for the shirt tug, which I'm not sure about. It means players get away with some dark arts.
Yeah, I agree. It's one that I'm not sure about either. I think that the aim of it is that if the attacking team decides to play on, then you shouldn't, get to have a yellow card either. The one that I find interesting is if it's a last man, it's not a red card if you play on. So it kind of brings in a question of what players decide to do. Do they decide to go down, or do they decide to play on?
Yeah. Yeah, it just opens up the opportunity for more diving, unfortunately. Exactly what we don't want. This is good from Adelaide, so that they shift it down the right in a tight area and get out to the left. And late on the scene there was the goalkeeper, Lily Aufeld, who was really good last week in Adelaide, but headed away by Liz Anton at the back. Comes for Webber again. She'll like this chance. Ooh, got Dio Della Harp right in the stomach, but she's tough. You know her well, Georgia, and didn't even blink in the end.
Yeah, I actually think it's hit her arm there, and she's thought she's given away a free kick on the edge. Sold herself a little bit there, but yeah, DA played with her plenty of times. Yeah, as we just see it hit her arm. Thought she was going to get a whistle there. Definitely a strong girl, though. It's great to see her getting some time here in the W League.
Yeah, no, that's serious on this one.
Corner at the near post is missed by everyone. Crane will do well to hold up. She's just got yellow shirts around her everywhere, 5 of them. No foul.
I think Adelaide have done their homework after last week. They, experienced how dangerous Crane can be if she gets time on the ball and she's able to get her head up and run at the back line. So they're all seeming to group around her and make sure that no one's left one-on-one marking her either.
Walders. Lowry will do well here to block off that pass, and that's what she did. She didn't just run aimlessly to close down her opponent. It was blocking the lane first and did well. Rojas. So good in tight areas. Rarely gives the ball away.
Fantastic feet. Great to watch.
Grant. Little combo, and was going to work until Grant tripped herself up, and Caitlin Douglas can come away, and perhaps looking for Gemma Crane too soon. Again there, Crane was running into a situation where it was 4-on-1.
Yeah, she's going to play with defenders all around her today. Perth are going to have to look to actually overload into that forward line. They can't expect her to do all the work isolated up front.
If they are going to play that ball to a 4-on-1, is it not the play to hit her with it? And she's got the opportunity to then bring surely 2 midfielders underneath who are advancing to help out, give and then go. So a second run in behind, if you like.
Yeah, exactly. You want to make sure you're hitting it to her feet with a bit of pace on it. You want to make sure that there's players supporting underneath and there's players running beyond, because it's that threat beyond that puts a question in the mind of defenders. Do they come up? Do they put pressure on Crane from behind, or do they drop with the runners in behind?
Steinmetz trying to find Crane with the ball, and she's too quick for Walder, so any one-on-one opportunity. Walders is stretching. Corner.
That's a prime example. Just put the ball into space for Crane to run onto. You don't even need to hit her feet. She's fast enough to beat defenders. You just got to put it the right side and let her do the rest.
Ariana Tabane, her 3rd stint at Perth Glory. Goes short. Della Harp with a good-looking corner, but I'll blame that one on the sun. That's where the sun is, and I don't think Caitlin Douglas could see too much.
Yeah, it's tough when the ball's coming in at that exact height where the sun's shining in your eyes, but Della Harp, she's got a great set ball play. She's good on corners, she's good on free kicks, so I'm sure that we're going to see more of that in this game.
Adelaide got the early lead. How have they settled, in your opinion, overall?
Yeah, look, I think the goal has actually settled them. They're happy to play the ball around the back, as both teams are. They're trying to make the ball do the work. And I think that, you know, they're waiting for the opportunity to go forward. They're not sort of rushing it. And I think that they've settled really well into this game.
They'll go second if they win this, and they've had a barren run in the W League. Never qualified for the finals, Adelaide United.
It's going to be a very interesting year this year, though. You know, we mentioned at the start, teams are playing each other twice very early, so I think that, you know, there's going to be a shake-up as the season goes on.
Yeah. That's their overview so far. 4-3 loss in that opening match, the Michelle Heyman show in some respects against Canberra United, and the win last week. Speaking of last week, what on earth happened in Melbourne on Sunday? Melbourne victory over Melbourne City.
Well, Melbourne Victory were on absolute fire. Their build-up play was phenomenal. You know, all of their front 5 players were having, you know, a game of their lives, and I think that City just really struggled defensively to contain them. They're playing a formation that players probably unfamiliar with and don't seem to have settled into. So Victory took the lead and they just kept going.
A bit like Lisa Devanna with that 3rd goal. Kept going.
There's no mercy rule.
And going and going. Well, do you expect... Oh, big opportunity here for Adelaide. Oh, no, it's a horrible mistake at the back, and it's, well, summed up and replicated with the attempted finish from someone you would not expect in a million years to do something like that. Emily Condon, possibly the best player on the ball out there, Georgia. And I think she had it in the back of the net before it was leaving her boot.
Yeah, wow. She would want that one again. Unfortunate for Sarah there, just too light on the back pass. Emily Condon takes the opportunity. She's done the right thing. She's taken the extra touch, trying to round the keeper. And as you said, I think that she thought the ball had hit the net before it had. Just didn't get the contact on it for the final shot.
Fiona Warts, the goal scorer, was a shade more composed in front of goal for her opportunity. Campagnali It's a lucky deflection and goes on. Rojas. Grant, first time cross from a deep area. That's good closing down from Dylan Holmes. He'll just have a go herself. Alfeld is well in position for it. Yeah, that's a classic illustration of two wrongs don't make a right. Sarah Morgan giving the ball away and then the finish.
Exactly. I think Perth are struggling a little bit defensively in the last 5 minutes. They're just not quite on the same page of who's picking up what runner. And Adelaide's really opening them up and creating some really good opportunities.
Is it the movement of Rojas that's doing that, who doesn't mind dropping deep or wide, and then it's who picks up who?
Yeah, definitely. When you've got a player who moves into different positions, it's very hard to mark defensively. You've got to make sure that if you're going to pass on players, that everyone knows what they're doing, everyone knows who they're picking up. And also you do need someone to follow her to a certain extent as well, because you don't want her getting the ball with too much time.
Charlie Grant goes out. The drinks break won't be far away. I'm tipping both sets of players will be looking forward to the next whistle from the referee. Georgia Girardello. Good press from Grant, but they were able to play around it, Perth. Did well to get numbers behind the ball there, Adelaide.
Yeah, definitely. Grant, you see her pressing high there, but the rest of Adelaide's team not sort of following her up there, and that's a prime example of, you know, it's really hard to press one out, and unless you win the first ball, you can actually do a disservice to your team as you get picked off, and then they're having to worry about extra players running forward.
It's really hard to press full stop when playing in an oven. Here's Hannah Lowry looking to link up with Crane. Comes away again. Morgan, all left foot. Shift there, out there to D.A. Delaharp. Very patient from both sides. And that's the difference here with Perth this week. They're looking to play through, and it's probably why they brought a player like Lowry into the play, looking to link up on that side with Mariana Tabane. Hasn't quite worked yet, but perhaps can gain full efficiency as the game goes on.
Yeah, you see Tabane in the midfield. She's trying to get the one-touch passes around the corner to combine and draw Adelaide players out, but Hannah Lowry and the other Perth players just struggling to read that. And as you said, they're just not seeming to click just yet. Hopefully the drinks break comes around and they can sort of compose themselves and have a good chat about it. Which
is what's going to happen right now with this drinks break. Relief for everyone involved. I mean, look at them on the bench. They're even sweating just sitting there.
Yeah, look, it's not good conditions. Unfortunately, the W League, the A League, we're used to playing in hot conditions, and it asks a lot of your body and asks a lot of the quality of the game. But you know, Adelaide, I think, have really settled well into the game in these opening minutes.
And this is how they took the lead. In the opening stages, and it was a beautifully worked goal through midfield, Georgia.
Yeah, definitely. Just, you know, one-touch passing. Emily Condon doesn't take too much time on the ball. And then what a beautifully slipped ball through there, and such a composed finish.
Yeah, Mallory Webber with the ball, and it was quality because it's a pitch speed that perhaps players, and we've seen it a little bit, you've seen a couple of players stepping on the ball just by virtue of the first touch not going as far out as they expect on a regular first touch, that they stand on the ball, and that ball through was a thing of beauty. And Fiona Warts with her goal to give Adelaide the lead. Yeah, she was Coventry and Leicester in the UK before coming out here, and lifestyle choices perhaps brings her out to Australia. And yeah, beautifully taken goal. I mean, you on Saturday night, you're playing after the A-League, so if it's a hot day in Sydney, at least the boys out there, 5 o'clock, stop whinging, get out there, we'll get the cool conditions.
You guys
Thanks.
deal with it, and then we'll play later, which is a nice change, I suppose. Late game for us, 7:40.
It's past your bedtime, is it?
It is past my bedtime. Definitely past my bedtime, so is this one, but here we are. We love football, and why not?
What are you, 84 years of age? What?
We train in the morning.
Up early, yeah. Up before the sun. So we're right to go again after the drinks break. Adelaide United with this lead. They're doing the same in Newcastle on Sunday as well. So it's A-League first, W League after. We've seen a fair few W League fixtures take place 2 o'clock in the afternoon in January, which, yeah, well, it's asking for trouble, pretty much. Charlotte Grant, who can get past Stella Hart. Wow, what a clean pair of heels shown by Charlotte Grant, and Fiona Woods just couldn't get on the end of it. That was rapid down the right.
Yeah, great run there from Charlotte Grant. Backs herself in behind. She's so quick, and to whip that ball in first time. It's a fantastic ball in there. Unfortunately, Wart's just unable to get on the end of it.
Yeah, Grant, just 19 years of age, and she's played a bit for Adelaide in the last 2 seasons. This is her 25th appearance in the W League. Player of the Year in the South Australian NPL in 2018. Been involved in the Future Matildas program as well, so a player of promise. Larry, cheap giveaway, gets another go. It's a good ball, good position taken up by Douglas. Webber trying to release Rojas, and Adelaide will get the throw. Nearly.
I'm not sure about that one. I wouldn't mind having another look at it. I think Perth Glory players had the right to argue that, but there you have it.
Liz Anton did well there. She said the W, she said the T, but didn't say the third word. So
managed to mute herself.
Yeah, well done. It takes restraint, especially in hot conditions. Steinmetz driving the ball out of defence. Lowry. Tabane just can't quite link up with her teammates at the moment, Hannah Lowry.
No, I think that's a classic. You know, you need to know your teammates. You need to know where they want the ball. And Mariana Tabane's one of those players who need to hit her feet. She doesn't want to be running onto the ball. She wants the ball at her feet. And that's something that I think you get to understand more the more you play with people.
Emily Condon, beautiful touch, and then directing traffic in front of her, and floats the ball over to Webber, who just couldn't get it onto that right foot. Just stuck in the pitch a little.
That's fantastic play there from Emily Condon. Great feet. Just to fool the defender there, and then just a little dink on her left foot. Unfortunately, Webber not able to get more contact on the ball, but Emily Condon, she's looked so dangerous in this first half.
Bruce from Lily Outfield. We'll come back again though, and Wart's trying to slip in Rojas. Loves the Maradona spin.
Glory doing a lot of defensive work here in this opening 30 minutes, and it really takes a toll. We keep talking about the hot conditions, but you don't want to be doing running defensive duties. You want to keep the ball, and I think that they need to look to secure more possession Otherwise, they're really going to struggle in the second half.
They have held the ball better this week. That wasn't...
see Adelaide so much more comfortable on the ball. All of their players just happy to bounce the ball around, just wait for openings. I think that comes from they've all played together for so many years. They understand and they trust each other.
Yeah. That was really well worked out of the back. Caitlin Douglas puts the Jets on. Charlotte Grant again, just running down her opponent, running away from and down her opponent, but it's still alive for Perth here, and down the right from Natasha Rigby, as high up that right side as she's been all game. Lowry, cross, forced for Douglas. Well blocked by Grant again.
Well, great play there from Perth. Hannah Lowry, first with her first touch around the corner, knowing where her defender is, and then this great ball over the top. Not much Grant could have done with that on the first one, but manages to recover and put it behind for a corner.
Good looking corner in, a bit of mayhem. Wasn't a comfortable situation there at the back for Adelaide. Still alive here, and Bain thought about the first time shot. There's Anton in the box at the other end, unusually so. Carroll will reset down this left-hand side. D.A. Della Harp, first time cross. Lowry making a run from deep, but it's too much on it.
Yeah, Bain looked like she wanted to hit that one first time, decides to lay it off instead. Perth just need to start putting some shots on target and really testing out Fryer McLaren in goal.
Out of words, the goal scorer. Summing up how all the players are feeling right now, 35 minutes in these conditions. The minutes matching the temperature. Corner. Pretty needless one as well. Must be so hard to concentrate towards the end of a half.
Yeah, definitely. Sarah Carroll just not sure what was going on around her. Decided to play safe and put it behind for a corner, but easily could have just let it roll behind and it would have been a goal kick. It is hard to think though, you know, you're out there, it's hot, sun's in your eyes, and it takes a lot more concentration, especially, you know, later in the half.
Corner ripped in. Oh, shout for a push there from Natasha Rigby. Oh, it's maybe a knock down the back there. I think it was Mallory Webber who stayed down. I think she's okay. Hopefully it's just been stood on. It can be one of those ones where she rolled her ankle on the way down. Now she's up. That's good.
She looked a bit sore for a bit, but I think it was a little bit of contact there in the challenge, and she'll just run it off, and hopefully for Adelaide's sake she's all right to play on.
Here's Webber. Can't quite find Rojas with that one. Holmes. And, really impressive Charlie Grant. It's good defending from Rigby. More to contend with for Rojas here onto the right, and shanks the shots, and it goes away to safety for Perth, but a dangerous moment. You don't want Rojas able to wriggle free like she did just then.
Yeah, absolutely not. Tash Rigby timed the first step in really well, and then just lets Rojas get the ball and turn the Perth defence inside out. Shows how dangerous she is, unable to put the shot on target. But I'm sure we'll be seeing more of that.
Bain and Lowry. Crisper movement here from Perth. Good defending from Wirtz.
Yeah, much better build-up play there from Perth. Happy to switch the ball around. They need to do that. They need to start asking questions of this Adelaide defence.
Crane going away from where she wants to be. Wins a foul. Isabel Hodgson. Me?
I think a bit of unnecessary contact there. Crane's not going anywhere. She's heading towards the sideline. It's just that little bit of extra shoulder charge there, which gets called up quite frequently in the W League. So she needs to be careful, and probably didn't need to make contact at all.
Even the kid in the pram thought it was a foul. Very obvious. Free kick from Lowry. Doesn't have the required distance on it, but Crane will have a go, and blocked by McNamara. Got in the way. To Bain. Offside.
Probably should have done a little bit more with that free kick, Perth. It's a free kick in a great position. And you just want to make sure that, you know, in those opportunities, you're getting a shot on goal.
Gemma Crane trying to press from the front at the end of a half. That's how she plays the game.
You never know, you might get a little turnover, and getting a goal here would change Perth's halftime chat.
Endless reservoir of energy. Carroll and Rojas. Carroll does well this time. Handball there from Isabel Hodgson, not given. A bit like the Della Hart one earlier, that was just completely inadvertent. It's a sloppy ball into midfield. It's away with it. It's a sloppy touch. This time it calms things down with a neat drag back.
I think Steinmetz just able to really calm the play when she gets on the ball. She's very good at 1-2 touch, bouncing the ball around the corners and just knowing when to settle it and go back to the centre backs.
She's a 21-year-old Kiwi who's 22 next week. Out of Northern Tigers in northwest suburbs of Sydney. That's where Alexa Parker's picked her up from. Alex, the coach of Sydney Uni last season, where you were once upon a time, Georgia.
Yeah, I was there when Alex was assistant coach under Heather Garriott. So I've had a lot of experience with Alex's training sessions and his build-up play.
Another one of Perth's 3 Kiwis. There's Anton at the back. There's a cross, despite the pleas. It's met in the middle. Dylan Holmes again for Adelaide. And back out they come through McNamara and Walters. About 5 minutes left in this half after the drinks break. Adelaide with the advantage. They're looking more likely when they get these combinations going as opposed to Perth, who are just trying to find the combination still. You get the feeling. Offside there on Wirtz.
Yeah, definitely. They're playing very different styles, though, especially defensively. You see Perth sitting off. They're not wanting to press high, and the only time they are pressing high is sending Crane out one off. So it means that when they actually do win possession of the ball, they haven't got numbers high up in the pitch. That's why they need to spend a bit of time doing some build-up play through the midfield, knocking it side to side with their defenders to allow their midfielders to get higher up the pitch.
Condon. Swarmed by Perth, which is encouraging. Late in the half, able to still stay on top of defensive duties. As D.A. Delaharp down this left-hand side, unable to really loop around yet. And bomb forward. Sarah Morgan looking over the top for Douglas, and there's a good idea in on this pitch, but Sian Fry-McLaren, who basically haven't mentioned all game because she hasn't had much to do in terms of picking the ball up with her hands, finally had something to do.
Yeah, look, it's a great little thought there from Morgan to try and dink it over the top, but it needed to be a bit wider on that one. You can't be hitting them down the middle because keepers play really high and they're going to come out and pick up the ball, but good thought and better signs here from Perth.
McNamara trying to avoid what you want to avoid against Gemma Crane. That's a foot race right there. Did well to position herself to block that run. Ooh, nearly.
Yeah, you did mention earlier Delaharp just unable to get forward like she was in the first game, and I think that you look at Charlotte Grant there at the back and she's so quick. It makes it hard as a fullback to actually get forward knowing that you're up against someone quick, so if you get caught out of position, you could be in trouble.
A lovely turn from Anna Lowry. A bit on it out left and asking Kate Douglas a lot, and she did really well out there, or could have been a lot worse than what it turned out there for Adelaide United. They come away with it. There's Charlotte Grant again. It's like she's been fired out of a cannon. Off she goes, down the right again, the youngster. Blazes past Sarah Morgan, thinks about cutting inside. Anton does well to hold her up. Gets to the byline, gets a corner, does really well, the right back of Adelaide United, who needs a rest after all of that.
Yeah, great run there from Charlotte Grant. You don't often see that from defenders, getting forward, getting past the midfielders, getting past the attackers, and still going, trying to get something there for her team. You can see she's starting to feel it, though, all the work she's done in this first half.
Yeah, she's avoided a transitional run again by going back from the corner, not staying up just in case it breaks down this left-hand side for Perth. Condon with the corner with the left foot, finds Walters, I think it is, and Rojas was nearly there, but the keeper, Alfeld, needed to be swift and was.
It's a great corner in to find Walters. She's the target there in set-piece scenarios and gets her head on it, just not enough pace to put it into any troublesome positions there for Alfield.
Walters again driving out of the right side of the back four for Adelaide United. Here's Webber, Mallory Webber, the American, another corner for Adelaide. They'll have time inside this last minute.
Emily Condon in the midfield, she's just been pulling strings all afternoon there for Adelaide. Perth really need to look at getting someone marking her closer.
Which makes that miss she had even more remarkable. It was like a swear word from a nun. It was just, how?
It's not something you see often from Emily Condon. Technically very good on the ball.
Be strong, be strong.
Free header again for Walders. Asking for trouble, simply asking for trouble, Perth Glory, if they're allowing that. And that'll do us on a really hot evening in Perth. Adelaide United have played some good football and have the lead at the break. Gemma Crane trying to get into the game. One big opportunity for her when she used her enormous amount of speed to get around her defender. But apart from that, Perth Glory haven't really made Adelaide United's keeper Sian Fry-McLaren work too much, while at the same time Adelaide United have posed a lot of problems. And the goal from Fiona Wirtz is the difference between the two sides at half-time. Perth Glory 0, Adelaide United 1. And just before she got off the pitch into the shade and into the sanctity of the dressing room, Dylan Holmes, Adelaide United captain, has been good enough to join us. Dylan, thank you for your time. Did that pretty much go to plan for your side?